Alright guys, today we're cooking this wild-caught Alaskan halibut. So we're going to start off by adding some olive oil and rubbing it in. And after you rub it in, we're going to grab our salt and pepper. Put a little on. There we go. And we're going to flip it over and do the same. I have some olive oil right here, so I'll just rub it in on the other side. Alright, now we want to get our sides, so any seasoning that fell off, just pat it down on the board, and we'll throw that to the side right now. Next we want to get our parsley, and you want to cut off any larger stems just right off the bat, so let's get these out of here. And with our parsley, we're just going to chop into very small pieces. Alright guys, so make sure this parsley is super thin. You can get some of these bigger stems out of here. And now we want to heat up our pan. Alright, so we'll put our stove on high and get this going. We want to let it sit here for about maybe 4 minutes. We just want this pan really hot. Alright guys, after our pan is hot, we're going to put this in dry. You don't want any olive oil or butter in the pan besides what's already on the fish. Now we're going to let this cook. We're going to check on it in about 2 minutes to see if it's got that brown crust. Alright guys, so let's flip this over. There we go. So it's brown, it's just starting to turn black. That's when I like to flip it. If you don't want it as cooked or as crispy, I cooked this about 3 minutes. I said 2, but it wasn't fully done to how I wanted it. And I use 2 instruments to flip it just so it doesn't fall apart. But if it falls apart, it's alright. Just, it looks better when it's all in one piece. So we'll let this cook for about, let's say 2 minutes, and we'll check it since the other side did cook a lot through. So let's check it in a couple. Alright guys, so it's been about 2.5 minutes. We're going to pop this off and just put it on a separate plate for now. Then you're going to want to lower your heat. So we'll actually just take the pan off completely for now. We can turn this off. You want to wait for this pan to cool down, maybe about 5 minutes, and then we'll get back to it. Alright guys, so after your pan is cooled off, you're going to turn the stove to low. There we are. Put that pan back on, and you want to smack some butter in there. There's your first piece. I'm actually going to add a tiny bit more. That was about maybe 3 tablespoons. Get that around, and we're going to add some olive oil. There we go. Let's just mix this around. The pan is a little hot. It's kind of good. I would say it's a little hot. And you don't want it to be super hot or the butter will burn. Alright, next you want to add a little spoonful of garlic. I just used minced garlic for this. And then we want to stir it in with our whisk or a spoon. Just make sure it doesn't burn. And we're going to let this cook for about a minute. Make sure we are stirring this every few seconds. We don't want it to get all burnt up. Alright, after about a minute of cooking, we're going to add some white wine in. That should be enough. We're going to let this sizzle for a little bit. Make sure we just stir it a bit because that garlic is still in there. See, it's kind of getting crispy, but make sure we're stirring. And if you have any extra butter, maybe add like a tablespoon or a teaspoon more. That's not a teaspoon, obviously, but that's all I had left. After about a minute of the wine going in, we're going to add our parsley. And then stir it around. Get it mixed in everywhere. And make sure you cut this very fine, or you'll just be having big clumps of it. Next, we're gonna add a squeeze of this lemon, and you can add some lemon zest if you want on top of the fish. It's optional. It tastes the same either way, but some people might like it. After adding the lemon, we're gonna take our fish and just set it back in. Let it heat back up. Let it cook and absorb. And I like to baste mine like a steak, just so that flavor seeps into it. Then we can grab our fish. Mine is flaking apart, and if it's becoming flaky, that means it's cooked. We can throw it on our plate, and if you want, you can spoon any more that you want on. There we go. And it's basically done. I like to add some mushrooms and some rice pilaf if you want to make a whole meal. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment what you would have done differently. I would have personally made sure that butter didn't burn. It burnt a tiny bit, and I think the garlic was also a part of it. So make sure to like and subscribe, and peace out.